Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Today I will show you how to make a powerful Berserker build in Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This build has a special ability called Berserker's Might that is activated by simply deflecting an attack. This ability increases damage dealt to enemies but also increases damage taken from enemies. You are essentially applying the Amplify Damage spell every time you deflect an attack, and this allows for more spell diversity since you can equip other spells in its place. These status effects on this build will crush enemy spirit bars. Applying poison on an enemy will reduce their flame resistance and gradually decrease HP and spirit. Poison also prolongs the duration of other negative effects as well. The fire spell damage and fire attack power is very high on this build and pairs extremely well with the poison. The iron pulled snake spear is incredible on this build. It scales amazing with the fire virtue, and it also has a unique martial arts ability called Parting Grass that enhances damage and prevents staggering from incoming attacks. I also have A- damage bonus for flame attack power on this build, which will amplify your damage even further. Welcome to the Wolong Fallen Dynasty Berserker build guide. For the player stats, you can see here I'm level 150 max level, and the main virtues to focus on for this build is the fire virtue and the metal virtue. The wood virtue is going to help you increase your HP, and it also affects the amount of spirit lost when attacked. It also affects spell duration, so it's good to have at least 20 to 30 wood virtue on your build. I have 80 fire virtue on this build, and the fire virtue affects the amount of spirit gained when attacking and the amount of spirit consumed by martial arts. It's also our main contributor to our overall melee attack power on our spear. The metal virtue affects the duration that a high level of spirit can be maintained for and the spirit consumed by wizardry spells. Having 40 metal virtue gives you access to the most powerful poison spell in Wolong Fallen Dynasty, Venom Snare. Currently on this build I have 820 HP, 567 melee attack power on our spear, 500 defense, 116% spell duration, 66.9% martial arts spirit consumption rate, and 71.5% wizardry spell spirit consumption rate. I also have A tier agility, and if you look to the bottom here, you can see 367 fire attack power and 251 metal attack power. The main weapon we are using on this build is an iron pulled snake spear with A tier scaling in the fire virtue, 567 attack power, 47 spirit attack, and a unique martial arts ability called Parting Grass. Slice horizontally, then bring your weapon down forcefully. This martial arts ability also has an additional effect at high spirit, enhances damage and prevents staggering from incoming attacks except for powerful attacks by enemies. If we look at the special effects below here, you can see damage bonus flame attack power. Now this increases HP damage dealt in proportion to your flame attack power. I currently have 111 flame attack power on this build. Flame attack power increases flame damage and status effect accumulation. Same with toxin attack power at plus 95, increases toxin damage and status effect accumulation. I also have 7% flame damage, an extra 11.4% enemy status effect accumulation on top of the 31.6% burn accumulation and 32.5% poison accumulation on enemies. For the rest of the stats on the spear, I have 5.8% enemy status effect accumulation, plus 19 flame attack power, plus 19 toxin attack power. To activate Berserker's Might, you need at least 3 pieces of the Yellow Heaven Must Rise gear set. Currently, I have the Yellow Heaven Must Rise chest piece, the gauntlets, and I also have a weapon. Now, even though I'm not using this weapon, as long as it's on my build, it's going to count towards my gear set. Having 3 pieces of the Yellow Heaven Must Rise is going to give you access to Berserker's Might upon deflection, and you also get extra spirit gain from normal attacks, and also reduced spirit damage received when attacking. For the helmet, I have a 5-star Taishin Bandit bandana, fully upgraded, plus 9, 97 defense, and for the special effects, plus 3.6% martial arts damage, damage amplification on an enemy that a wizardry spell hits, plus 19 flame attack power, plus 8% burn and poison accumulation on enemies. This piece also has set bonus requirement mitigation, which allows you to achieve a set bonus and activate it with 1 fewer piece of equipment. For the chest piece, I have a 5-star General of Man armor, plus 9, 177 defense. This is part of the Yellow Heaven Must Rise gear set, plus 19 flame attack power, plus 7.9% burn accumulation on enemies, plus 19 toxin attack power, plus 3.4% flame damage, and plus 7.9% poison accumulation on enemies. For the gloves, we have 5-star Evil Taoist bracelets, fully upgraded, plus 9, 84 defense, and for the special effects, plus 8.2% burn accumulation on enemies, plus 19 flame and toxin attack power, plus 8.3% poison accumulation on enemies, and plus 3.5% flame damage. And last but not least, 4-star General of Man Greaves, plus 8, 130 defense. We have plus 18 flame and toxin attack power, plus 7.5% burn accumulation, and plus 8.3% poison accumulation on enemies. This one is also part of the Yellow Heaven Must Rise gear set. The accessories that I'm using here, I'm only using because of 2 special effects. Now, the first one here gives me Spirit Fervor upon deflection. Now, this is going to apply Spirit Fervor to yourself, which increases spirit gain from attacking. This pairs very nicely with power gain upon deflection as well. This is going to increase attack damage dealt to enemies every time you deflect. The first spell that I am using on this build, probably the strongest fire spell in Wolong Falling Dynasty, is Bursting Fireball. There is a large fireball that will split into multiple small fireballs and explode after a certain period of time or upon hitting an enemy or terrain. The great thing about all these spells, they are all going to do more damage every time we activate Berserker's Might, because our damage is going to be amplified across the board. We also have Flame Weapon and Toxin Weapon. Flame Weapon is going to allow us to enchant our spear with fire, and Toxin Weapon is going to allow us to enchant our spear with toxin. It really depends on which enemies you are fighting. Obviously, certain enemies have different resistances to different types of status effects, so if an enemy is more prone to poison, you would enchant your weapon with toxin, and vice versa. The strongest poison spell in Wolong Fallen Dynasty, probably the easiest way to apply poison to your targets, is Venom Snare. Now, you need at least 40 Metal Virtue to use this spell, but trust me, it's worth it. Releases a curse bolt to the front that will form a poison fog around the enemy it hits. The fog will cause damage over time to enemies touching it. Now that you've seen these stats, weapons, gear, and spells on this build, let's see this build in action.
will not yield. Glad to see. I was not wrong to put my faith in you.
If you want to see another very powerful Wolong Dynasty build, I highly recommend checking out my last video where I go over my best Sub-Zero inspired water build. Thank you all so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, leave a thumbs up. I would appreciate it a lot. Also, if you want to see more Wolong Fallen Dynasty builds coming very soon, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel. And also, turn on those bell notifications so you are notified every time I drop a new video.